to another episode of Turn Left. I am your host, Indiana's own Dana Black, coming to you live. Yes, all the way live from Black Pearl Studios, where we talk about Indiana politics from the left side of things. Well, you can always tell when the primaries are heating up, because they hot right now. I mean, they so hot, there's rumors being floating around, people are getting attacked, and that's not even for this year's primary. Just think, next year for the Indianapolis mayor's race, we still have more than a year for that primary, and already it's starting to heat up. I'm excited about all the candidates that have decided to run for mayor of Indianapolis, and I wish them all the best of luck. And what I'm finding interesting is that each of the candidates that have declared that they're running for mayor are keeping it classy. Now we just need all of their supporters to keep it classy. You know, you don't have to mudsling, you don't have to lie, you ain't got to do none of that stuff. The good candidates will rise to the top. I hope that we all find some civility in all of this, right? And I will say it, yes, some people are just simple. And we know that. And that's not a diss. That just is a thing. I mean, goodness, look at MAGA. And I'm not saying the people on the left are as simple as the people in MAGA. But I am saying that you have varying degrees of understanding in our party, just like you have varying degrees of understanding in the world. So just keep it classy, y'all. Support your candidate and keep it classy. But in the meantime, I got a rant. Fox 59 reports, with Indiana gas prices now averaging roughly 60 cents above where they were last year, according to Gas Buddy, many Hoosiers continue to experience the pain at the pump, even as prices have fallen over the last few weeks. Per Gas Buddy, the average price in Indiana is now roughly $3.69 a gallon. On top of that, the Indiana Department of Revenue said the state's sales tax on gas will jump from roughly 17 cents to 23 cents per gallon. The gas sales tax is indexed to inflation, per political science professor Laura Wilson. Earlier this month, Governor Braun suspended the gas sales tax through May 8th. That means Hoosiers will see a savings of roughly 23 cents per gallon, but only for the first week of May, after the primary is going back up. Governor Braun said he has yet to decide on whether he will extend it. So as we are all paying these really high gas prices, I want you to understand how we got here. That little war that we don't know nothing about and why it's happening in Iran is the reason. It's the reason. I saw somebody's social media post today, when you vote for a con artist, you get conned. They said no new wars. They said prices will come down. They got conned. We're all paying the price for the con. So Mike Braun could extend the gas tax break. Representative Porter suggests that we could get rid of the excise tax. Representative Porter's always bringing up good ideas on what we could do to help Hoosiers in the pockets. But ain't nobody else talking about the excise tax except for Rep Porter, so I don't know if that's going to happen. Y'all hang on. I know it's rough out there. I know we're having a hard time. It's hard. It's hard to I don't know, trying to make ends meet, right? We're all trying to make ends meet, and it's hard. So hopefully you guys are holding on okay. And in the meantime, I'm going to pray for us all, because it's rough out here. All right. The Indy Star reports a law once dubbed the Indiana's Don't Say Gay bill was upheld by a federal appeals court on April 21st. The decision may mark the end of a years-long legal battle over the First Amendment's role in the state's classrooms. The law at the center of the case, established in 2023 by House Bill 1608, bans instructions on human sexuality for students in pre-K through third grade. We already know that there was no curriculum in these age ranges, so they had to write a law to ban it. But yeah. In June 2023, the American Civil Liberties Union of Indiana sued the state's education department on behalf of Kyla Smiley, a teacher who said the law was too vague because it failed to define instruction or human sexuality. It was unclear if teachers could explain why gay is unkind when used as a pejorative. The lawsuit said nor was it clear if she could keep children's books about famous LGBTQ plus people in her classroom. The ACLU also argued that the law would have a chilling effect on the teacher's right to express her support for LGBTQ plus community in her private life. The U.S. Court of Appeals for the Seventh Circuit ruled that the teacher's concerns about potential examples of enforcement weren't substantial enough to invalidate the entire law, siding with an earlier decision from the U.S. District Court in Indianapolis. So, you know what? You can pretend like you're not going to say gay, but people going to say gay. It's going to happen. I don't know how you going to get around it, but people are going to say gay. So teachers, you know, not only do you have to be first responders for active shooters, and you have to regulate how you talk about black people so that white kids are not extra sensitive and get their hurt feelings about American history. Not only do you have to try to figure out how to get the materials you need because you don't have enough, and you're also underpaid. So one more thing to put on public school teachers in Indiana, while at the same time working continually to defund public education. I mean, Micah Beckwith just posted something the other day about not sending your kids to public schools in Indiana. Get them out. Well, where they gonna go? Micah Beckwith, you public servant, you getting paid by my tax dollars, telling people not to go to public schools? Where they gonna go? Micah Beckwith needs to go bye-bye. I'll be glad when that election comes around again. So guys, you know, I feel some kind of way when you attack my LGBTQ plus community. I don't like that the courts upheld this, but it is what it is. And so to my teachers out there, be careful. Just be careful, because, you know, there's a whole bunch of complaining, you know, softies out there. As soon as they see something that ain't like them, they want to complain about it. All right. So just be careful. All right. And finally, WNDU.com reports Governor Mike Braun held a ceremonial signing on Tuesday, signing a bill into law that prohibits sleeping in public spaces in Indiana. The legislation bans sleeping, camping, and long-term sheltering on property owned by the state or local government. Those who violate the ban would be issued a Class C misdemeanor, which carries a penalty of up to 60 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Per the law, a law enforcement officer must first determine if the person qualifies for an involuntary hold for emergency mental health services. Hear this now. The unqualified police officer who is a law enforcement officer has to do a mental wellness check to see if they need to be committed first, because that's what they are trained to do, to assess mental health. Got it. First-time violators who do not qualify for emergency detention are to be given a warning and information on relevant shelter and support services, because there's always a free bed open. Not. Because, you know, some of those places, they fill up at a certain time and people do the best they can to get where they're going. All right. The purpose of the bill is not criminal action, but moving homeless Hoosiers towards social services network to help them get needed services and stay safe. Well, then why do you add penalties to it? If you're not trying to criminalize it, why did you add penalties to it? The law requires annual reports from local law enforcement officers and recipients of continuum of care funding so that the state can better measure efforts to reduce homelessness, Braun said. It also provides diversion options and protections for homeless individuals if an appropriate shelter is not available within 5 miles. Imagine that. Braun said he believes the law sets Indiana on the right track to address homelessness, but said he welcomes input from those who think more needs to be done. Well, they got a lot of damn input when they had the public debate about it at the State House. You wasn't listening then, so why you gonna listen now? Get a hold of your legislators. They did that. There's another session coming up. Why would we have to have the bill already passed now? You already signed it. When we had public debate, you wasn't trying to hear that. According to the Indiana Capitol Chronicle, sheriffs testified against the bill. Imagine that. Citing concerns about the cost of housing of such offenders. It's going to create overcrowdedness in the jails, which means that they're going to go to jail, to go to the local council and say, give us more money to build more jails. And Senator Lonnie Randolph, that's not the answer. The answer is helping these homeless people by providing the things that they need, like food, shelter, and a job. This law goes into effect on July 1st. So, he told Mike Braun said, call your legislature. Didn't y'all do that? I know y'all did. I listened to the testimony that was hours long, both from the committee and on the both chambers' floors. So if you wasn't listening then, we sure as hell know you're not finna listen now. But the fact that you had a ceremonial signing to criminalize homelessness tells us exactly what kind of freaking human you are. I cannot even imagine celebrating, criminalizing homelessness. I want y'all to wrap your head around that. He had a ceremonial signing to criminalize the least of these. Those that are downtrodden. Where are they going to get the $500 from? Where are they going to get it from? I interviewed Ryan Mears this week, so go check that out. And he explained in legalese, because I don't understand that you get day for day when you're incarcerated. So essentially, you get sentenced 60 days, but you're only going to be served 30. And so then you get locked up and then you're out in a couple of weeks. And then somebody sees you again, they're going to put you back in again. And the money that we're using to house people in jail, see, priorities. We could have been using that money to create new shelters. Look at all the abandoned malls around our state, all the abandoned buildings. We have money to do the things that we want to do, but we apparently don't have enough money to do the things that we need to do. Don't tell me you care about humanity. Don't tell me you care about what happens to people who are downtrodden when you are ready to criminalize them. And that Class C misdemeanor stays on their record. So when they are ready, right, to get housing, they will have a conviction on their record. So how's that going to help them get housing? I need y'all to help me make this make sense. And he had a ceremony to celebrate the signing of criminalizing our homeless citizens. Early voting is underway. I hope you have a plan to cast your vote for your favorite Democrat, and then be ready to rally behind them, whether your person loses or not, whether your person wins or not, to help the Democratic winner. Because we would never write a bill like this. We would never sign a bill like this. That's my rant. Democrats, are you looking for an affordable digital content creation solution? Then look no further than Black Pearl IT Solutions and Black Pearl Studios. Indiana's own Dana Black is providing many of the communication wraparound services any Democratic organization needs. No matter the size of the budget, Indiana's own and Black Pearl Studios have you covered. Just scan the QR code or visit www.blackpearl-its.com. All right. Some of the coolest, sometimes things don't work out the way we really want them to. I had another guest scheduled tonight. He had some technical difficulties. So you know what? It's just going to be me and Ryan What? Dana. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I wrote it down. Kominikis. Whew. Ryan Kominikis. Welcome to the show, Ryan.
Thank you for having me, Dana. I really appreciate it.
I love it. Hey, listen, was there anything in my rant that you wanted to comment
on? Yes. So as far as that war in Iran goes and the gas prices, the war is completely unnecessary. And I think there's a lot of people that are coming to their senses about the policies that are being passed by that administration and how they're negatively affecting regular working class families. I don't know a lot about the don't say gay bill, but from what I heard from your rant, it sounds like an overreach. And as far as the homelessness bill goes, I don't know why we would be writing any new laws that keep people down when they're already struggling.
I know, right? It seems like we're supposed to be servants. Like these elected officials are supposed to be servants, and they are literally doing the exact opposite. So how are you doing today?
Doing all right. This campaign thing's got me busy for sure.
I love hearing it. So tell the people who you are and where you come from.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So my name is Ryan Kominakis. I'm running for Indiana State Representative in House District 4. That's the Valparaiso, Couts, Union Township, Washington Township, Morgan Township areas. But a little background about me. I'm a family man. Yeah, I'm married for 16 years. I got 2 little boys, 8 and 10. I'm a Marine Corps veteran. I'm an Afghanistan War veteran. I'm a steel worker and work at U.S. Steel Gary Works. I'm also a union representative, 3 times elected section griever. And most of my neighbors feel like they don't have a voice downstate. Like their voices aren't being heard. And I'm running to change that. We need more regular people with integrity to run for office and make the changes and get someone down there that's actually going to fight for us.
Well, you're a Marine, so I have a feeling that you know how to fight. You're a union guy. I have a feeling you know how to fight. So
that's right.
Those previous roles, had you always, as a young person, knew that you wanted to serve your country and serve other people?
Yes. So I was a freshman in high school when 9/11 happened. So that was definitely a big impact, on me. Watching those planes flying to the Twin Towers. That was. I definitely wanted to be a part of the group that was fighting for freedom and fighting back against terrorism. I wanted to do my part. Wars are fought, and if something like that's going on in my country, I want to be able to stand up for my country and be able to say that I did my part, and I certainly did.
I love that. And then when you came home, I assume that you went to work. I'm in a union, but every time they ask me to be in a leadership role, I'd be like, nah, I can't do it. What made you decide to go ahead and be in a leadership role in the union?
Yeah. So I got into U.S. Steel right after I got out of the Marine Corps in 2012. So I've been at U.S. Steel for about 13, going on 14 years now. But within the first 2 years of me being in the mill, I went on as an assistant griever. But I've always just kind of jumped feet first into leadership roles. My theory is if you want change, then don't be afraid to be that change. And a lot of times that's the best way. Don't just complain about it. Be about it. So
that's my line.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Well, and then so the union is a very, very positive group that has fought for workers for years. U.S. Steel doesn't give me the benefits and the pay that we get out there just out of the goodness of their hearts.
Right.
We fight for the company on that kind of stuff. Every contract negotiation, the union, United Steelworkers, paved that way for us workers on the floor. So 100% certainly wanted to be a part of that group that was fighting for workers. But definitely I've always had wanted to have a role in service and giving back to others and taking care of the people around me. So.
I love that. And then were you enlisted or did you go to officer training school?
Enlisted.
So both
Yes.
of both of the roles, your leadership roles, have put you with regular people, right?
That's right. Yep.
When
Absolutely.
you listen to, because I remember in 16 when I ran, and I would go to union shops, and it was so frustrating to me at the time to see how many Trump stickers were on these
Mhm.
union trucks.
Mhm.
And talk to us, because still some of us Democrats don't get it right. Talk
Mhm.
to us about how we should be approaching our union brothers and sisters and talking about the issues that matter to them so that we can get them back.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, as far as like Democrats go, I mean, I think it's real important. Make sure that you're showing up for them. So if the union's on strike or they're locked out, like the NIPSCO workers and the BP workers have been, that you're actually out there with them, on the picket line. Make sure you're donating supplies, showing up for them when maybe the other side's not.
Yeah.
But as far as talking to them goes, and this is just Ryan's opinion,
Okay,
but
that's fair. That's fair.
a lot of the steel workers on the floor, I would say my membership could easily be 60-40 as far as Democrat Republican. I feel like we've lost a lot of those due to uh, like a hard focus on like the culture war side of things, and I think that those things definitely deserve and need attention. But we have to win on the big issues, because the big issues they face everybody. Everybody's hurting if their utility bills are through the roof, or they can't afford childcare. It doesn't matter if you're white, black, Indian, if you're LGBTQ, or everybody struggles with utility bills and not be able to afford a house. We have to fix those problems that face everybody, and I think once we can tackle those, I think that we'll gain the trust of some of those swing voters and some of those union members. Um,
I love
I
that. I
think
love.
that I think the economy is what Trump and his administration ran on. After I'm sorry, during the the Kamala Harris
Mm-hmm.
2024 run.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Well, and see, Braun is not much different. He's the same thing that's happening at the federal level is definitely happening at the state level. So you mentioned that the NIPSCO workers are on strike. Can you share with us a little bit about what's going on up there?
Yes, yes. So they're not on strike. They're being locked out by their company
Okay.
now.
Oh,
Thankfully, most recently, the NIPSCO workers actually got a tentative agreement
okay.
between the company and NIPSCO, but they were locked out for a while. And like one of their biggest fights there was they were trying to put a bunch of forced overtime, really trying to ruin their work-life balance,
Mm-hmm.
and especially a lot of these younger workers. And I see it on my shop floor,
Mm-hmm.
they're different than the older generation. They want to spend more time at home, more time with their families.
Right.
That stuff's really important to them. And one of the big reasons you get involved as a union rep is to fight for dignity and respect in the
Mm-hmm.
workplace. And when a company's trying to force that stuff down your throat, you're losing all of that. But it seems like with that tentative agreement, it'll go to a vote. The members have to vote on it and approve it. That vote should be happening soon. I'm not sure the exact day. But the tentative agreement was reached like a week ago. So I would imagine with the next week or two, we'll know where the vote is with the membership. But BP, on the other hand, they are still locked out.
Wow.
Also not on strike. They're also locked out. So the company has said, we're done negotiating. Both of these were, unfair labor practice lockouts.
Mm.
So these are illegal lockouts, in my opinion. So BP though, they want to cut pay. Yeah, they want to cut the amount of
With the
workers.
record profits they're making?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And then yeah, so cut pay, cut the amount of workers, and then they want to cut out language in their contract, that just makes them union in the first place. So they've got a big fight going on up there. If people would like to join them, I tell everybody go to the USW 7-1 Union Hall in Whiting, Indiana. They'll take you out to their picket sites. You can join them on the picket line. Bring firewood, bring water. Yeah. Bring coffee, Red Bull, Monster, whatever you would think you would need in your workplace to get through a shift. Yeah, just that kind of stuff. But yeah, those folks are struggling. They're without pay. They'll be without benefits, very soon if they aren't already. And that's sad. That's very,
Yeah.
very sad to see. Yeah,
So when they lock the workers out, like I know when workers go on strike, they sometimes bring in scabs. Are these companies allowed to bring in workers who are non-union to take the place of the work?
yeah. So they already have their scabs coming in and out of both facilities. It's my understanding they don't have enough to run the facilities, and sadly, a lot of times, especially with like BP, safety is always huge up there in the oil refineries. That stuff's very important,
Mm-hmm.
and with these workers that are coming in out of state that aren't necessarily going to be trained like the United Steelworkers, something could happen. Sadly, it could mean one of those workers, the scabs, gets hurt or dies. Obviously, I'm not happy about them being a scab, but I don't want to see anybody die or get hurt.
Absolutely.
And it could get to that as far as, and then all of a sudden you'll see BP come to the table,
Yeah.
or some catastrophe with one of their refineries or their work specific that would likely get them back at
Yeah.
the bargaining table. But
Yeah. See.
often,
And, go ahead. I'm sorry.
often these. Go ahead.
I'm gonna be quiet because this is your interview.
Now, often these companies, they kind of get emboldened when they see other companies like this lock their workers out. So the U.S. Steel has their contract that's going to be up where I work in September. So we've got those negotiations coming up. Cleveland Cliffs, all the big steel mills on the lake there. Our contracts are up September 1st. So we will have to see what transpires there. But yeah, I've been on the picking line with those folks before. I ran for office. I was always very involved in my union, even if it wasn't USW. I would join, the machinist union or you name it.
And it sounds like you're committed to the worker. And
Absolutely.
so,
Absolutely.
I hear your experience. I hear why you want to serve. So why are you running for this seat?
Yeah. Well, so for a slew of reasons. First and foremost, one thing that my dad taught me was that he wanted a better future for me and my brother. And I think that he definitely worked hard to make that happen. I want to do the same for my two boys. I want to make sure that their future is brighter and they have some of the same, if not better opportunities than me and my wife had. So, but then secondly, so the union, they've sent me to a bunch of, training and educational courses on how to become a union steward and a leader in this labor movement. I've been to at least 6 years of that, whether it was a summer school educational or leadership in Pittsburgh. But they really, really employ us as union members and then union leaders to run for office.
Really?
You can get elected on the shop floor. You're already electable. You know how to lead and you know how to take care of people. So and that's sincerely what we need. We need more leaders with integrity that actually care about regular people, not just their campaign donors or party politics or corporate profit margins.
And was there a specific reason that you went for this House District 4?
Yes. Okay. So that's the third and last reason. So over the summer, the incumbent representative, Ed Soliday, he got into a debate with the Republican mayor of Portage. So Austin Bontas, the new mayor of Portage, young man, they got into a debate about NIPSCO bills and the Indiana Utility Regulatory Commission and how the utility bills were going up. And the mayor there, he wasn't excited about the rate hike that the IURC approved.
Right.
So they got in this private debate. And in that debate, Ed Soliday called his constituents the noise box. He said that anybody that wanted to do what Austin was talking about would be pandering to the noise box. And then followed on to say that he would make sure that your city never gets another revenue increase again.
Wow.
Essentially, he threatened the whole city of Portage.
Wow. Hateful.
So hearing that, I was thinking to myself, like, okay, the Republicans are going to do something about this. They're probably going to have him, step down, or well, none of that happened. And and I was thinking to myself, okay, well, I knew I wanted to run for office at some point and get involved. I didn't think it was going to be state representative right away, but here we are, and we have to get somebody down there that's going to be a voice for the regular people and fight for us. And I will be that voice come November.
And it sounds like you have a spine too, bro. Like I've been meeting a lot of dudes, and as the resident loudmouth lesbian in the Democratic Party, I'm often put off by all these men, like the Micah Beckwiths who want to talk all strong, but then they baby soft when it comes to fighting for people. You're and the other thing I noticed about you is that you are a very measured and smooth talker. You're not like me. You're not like super animated. There is something to that. And I believe, as I'm listening to you right now, and I'm really sucked into listening to you talk about it, you got not only the knowledge, but you have the physical attributes to make it happen. That spine is the first thing. So when we think, because there's a lot of spine on the Republican side. So when you think about the fact that your incumbent House rep has basically said, if you keep on asking questions about these rate hikes, which a mayor is supposed to be doing, looking out for the residents of the city, I am going to retaliate against you. Did you know that at that moment that was the time to do it? Like you knew it was time to do it, but then more importantly, did you begin to start looking at other things that Ed Soliday had been doing that have been harmful to your community?
Absolutely. So 100% right. Saw that and was like, man, something's got to be done about this. And like I said earlier in the podcast, I don't like to just complain about things. I want to do something about it. So you can't. The best way to address a problem is to try to get your hands dirty and fix it yourself if you can. But yeah, I looked into a lot of these laws. There's a bunch of laws where he goes out of his way to protect big corporations, specifically these utility companies, versus looking out for his consumers. We could get into each of the like individual laws, but essentially the majority of them allow these utility companies to pass operating costs off onto consumers.
Yes.
And specifically capital expenditures and infrastructure. And then that gets also tied into data centers, right? So when these data centers go in, there's infrastructure that's required that we don't currently have. So they have to build new infrastructure, and that gets pawned off onto the consumers.
Whoa! Stop it! Hold on just a second, bro. You just triggered something. You just said that these utility companies are pawning off operating costs and capital expenditures, not upgrades to keep necessary, not just upgrades to keep necessary power and energy getting to your home, but anything that they decide to add on to is being passed on to us.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
That sucks.
Yes. No. I mean, it's so Ed didn't just vote these laws in. He actually authored all of these bills on the House side. So he's the head of the Utilities Committee and has been for some time. So he obviously he's not in the Senate too, so he can't author those bills, but he co-sponsors every one of his counterpart Senator Koch's bills. But the same thing with these nuclear power plants that they're trying to put in all of their infrastructure, capital expenditure costs. When they want to put one in, they'll reach out to the utility company even before they reach out to the city about getting approval for buying the land and setting up shop. So let's say Amazon went into to Hobart, Indiana, to build a data center. They would actually get a hold of NIPSCO, the utility company up here, and make some deal between the two of them about how that's going to get handled. But right now, the law is very clear When that stuff goes in, NIPSCO has the ability to recover 80% up front and then 20% later.
Oh
So
my gosh.
100%, and then that goes to the IURC, and it doesn't go as your regular rate increase. It's something just goes to the IURC and essentially gets rubber stamped. And yeah, that's why those kind of things are why we're seeing our utility bills skyrocket. And up here in Northwest Indiana, a lot of people's NIPSCO bills have literally doubled. From December to January, and man, these bills go as far back as like 2011.
So. Yeah, because Michelle Higgs always talks about, they stack bills, right? They have a plan 20 years, 15 years down the road, and they start stacking bills just like, and I'm make a prime example, this Don't Say Gay bill that targets pre-K to third grade. They're going to stack it and say, now you can't talk about sexuality up into the sixth grade. They're going to stack it. Now you can't talk about it at all into any public school. And that's why, we got to pay attention to what's happening now, because they got a plan. They got a plan to continue to gouge us. Bro, as you're talking, I'm getting so frustrated because it's like, there should be, why aren't these people looking out for us? How much water damage are you going to have? How much more are we going to pay electricity before the people break? And have they not even thought about that?
No, not so. I mean, I think I would take it a step further. So, House Bill 1007 and SB 423 and SB 424, those were passed in 2025. And then SB 1 in 2025, as most of us Democrats have been talking about, that's a bill that, lowers property taxes, but then siphons money away from schools, police departments, and fire departments, and things of that nature. So I don't think that it's a coincidence that those laws were all passed in 2025. So you got these, smaller cities that are hurting to bring in money to, fund their police department, fund their schools. And then now these data centers come in, and they can give them a bunch of money in different ways, right? So I definitely don't think that there's a coincidence that these bills were passed at the same time. These data centers were meant to be an answer for that problem. So they know they would go in, right? So
Yeah. And it's crazy because, when you think about these smaller towns, the population growth in Indiana is not necessarily people moving from other states to Indiana. It's people moving from smaller towns where there's not a lot of industry and a lot of things to do. And people come into the urban areas or the suburban areas around Indianapolis. Obviously up in the region, you guys do pretty well up there. And then down in like the Clark County, Evansville, and Southern Indiana. And so now these smaller towns, not only are they're not getting the tax revenue that they used to get, they're losing their tax base. And eventually these places are going to be ghost towns. Is that what, my goodness, is that what they want? Ghost towns?
Yes, absolutely. Well, and then so I'll take that a step further. So in 2019, Ed Soliday was responsible for authoring the bill that became law that gives the data centers that 50-year tax break. Yep. So man, we should be finding a way to utilize these big tech groups to help fund certain projects, and not giving them corporate handouts that only hurt regular people.
And you are apparently really, really knowledgeable about all the things that have been happening in your community. Do you have a primary opponent? I don't know. I can't remember.
No primary opponent, and neither does Ed.
Okay, so you know who you're running against. Okay, so when you're out, I know that before we went on the air, you talked about campaigning is it's a lot of work. When you're out talking to the people, what are they telling you?
Yeah, so definitely one of the major things we talk about is affordability, and certainly their utility bills. Folks are not happy about it. They don't know where this home delivery charge comes from. They'll have a NIPSCO bill of $60 or $100, and the home delivery charge will be $100 or $200 or $300. My NIPSCO bill went from $300 to like $600
a month.
Overnight. Oh yeah.
Wait. Okay.
That's why there's investigations, into this stuff that's ongoing. I mean, it's insane. Like I did not think things were going to get, this deep and this crazy. And NIPSCO's even admitted to overcharging people by like 3,500 customers. But then also in the same hand said they wouldn't go back any further than a year.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we need to get you get you in District 4. Y'all, first, before I keep asking this amazing human great questions and we have continued this conversation, please click his donate link. It's right there in the feed. Click his donate link. Get it, because he's going to need some help. He's going to need some help. Become a recurring donor, right? If you don't have a lot of money right now, that's fine, because none of us do. None of us do. So if you could become a $5 or $10 recurring donor between now and November, that money is going to add up for Ryan, and he's going to be really competitive to get the message out. So please, bro, because the fact that we have Hoosiers right now, 300. May I ask what the square footage of your home is, if it's not too personal?
Yeah, it's a 4-bedroom, 2,800 square feet. 2,800
square feet. Okay, so that puts it in perspective when because we have to think about size. Because I'm like, my place, I'm only about 1,500 square feet, so I'm my bill is around 160, 170, but I'm not with NIPSCO, so I imagine my bill, if I was with NIPSCO, would probably be closer to 250.
Yes.
And we should not be allowing this to happen. We should not be allowing people who are supposed to be serving us, and they get money from us to and okay. So I know we probably should talk about some other issues, but apparently this is a big one in your community.
Yeah, I mean, so right now we got it to where corporate profits soar while regular people get raked over their coals. And man, the people in my district, they deserve better than that, And Ed Soliday should be down there fighting for consumers and the regular common folk from his district, but instead he, at every corner, he stands up for these utility companies. I could give you another example, but I wouldn't mind getting into like some of the labor issues as well. But,
absolutely, go right ahead.
Yeah. So tied to these data centers, right? So I mentioned that Ed wrote that law in 2019 where it gives the tax breaks to the data centers. So Ed's actually he's got friends in the trade unions. Typically, especially with these data centers, they do bring the trade unions work. That's 100%.
But it's short-term work.
Absolutely, no, 100%. But if he was really pro trade union, though, why wouldn't he have made a project labor agreement requirements or right to bid ordinance requirement as a part of that tax break, right? So if you want the tax break, you're going to have to use local, safe, well-trained, quality workers, union workers that are paid well, right? Like he could have made that a part of his law, and he didn't, So so he claims to be this pro-trade union Republican, but you have an actual union member, actual union representative. I still fight for my members' jobs on the floor, every day. I fight for workers every day. You're going to get that with me when there are projects going on. I'm always going to think about the workers and everybody involved. So the trades will have a fighter in me when I get elected in November.
And I love that you offered some, because one of the listeners, Betty Regal, said, so how do we turn it around, Ryan? And you actually just gave some suggestions, like putting trade agreements in the contracts. Is that something when you get elected? Because we gonna work for you and get you elected. When you get elected, is that something that you're going to start working with, the Democratic, obviously our caucus, and then about going about the business of writing bills that kind of either slow some of this stuff down or reverse it or put some language in to alter it?
Absolutely. Yeah. So, I mean, as far as the utility bills go, we need to either repeal or amend those laws to make it to where these capital expenditures, they can't be pushed off onto consumers. We need to make it to where, rates are fair and affordable. You know what I mean? I've heard that Ed say on the committee floor that all these people think that the rates could be at 0%. I don't think anybody's really saying that.
No.
Yeah, I think we want fair and affordable rates, and I think we can really I do believe we can get that done. But then as far as like the unions go, we need someone that's actually going to put them first, not just to bring in this work when we have the power and the ability to pass laws that will put those RBOs or project labor agreements in. Because you can pass those laws, and typically they are done at the city or county level. But if we're going to give a corporation a handout, we better be getting something in return. So as a union representative, I negotiate often, and you have to know what you're doing. You know what I mean? You can't just give that handout and, like I said, not get anything in return. That to me, that's we need better leadership and better legislators downstate.
We definitely do. So again, we probably need to let our listeners know about some of the other issues that you, because when you're in the State House, you are going to be dealing with a lot of issues that impact all of us as Hoosiers. And one of the biggest things that I always hear is affordable health care, right? We're obviously talking about affordability, but talk about how you see health care and how we can do better in Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, so yes, as far as healthcare goes, it's definitely a big cost to regular people. Just like their utility bills. I would definitely work with some of the other legislators to pass any kind of bill that's going to make healthcare more affordable. It's definitely not my expertise. I've been talking to Kumba quite a bit about some of her plans for healthcare. I always say that I'm not necessarily an expert in certain fields. That's definitely not my biggest expertise. But one thing that my director in my union, Mike Millsap, has always mentioned is if we've got legislators downstate and we endorse them, we need them to reach out to us when there are issues affecting us. So if we have healthcare issues, let's go to the experts. Let's find someone like Kumba that's worked in that area for some time, or talk to some nurses, or maybe some nurses unions, or talk to the healthcare providers. Let's make things make sense for regular people.
I appreciate that answer, bro. You didn't try to pull something stupid out your behind. Yeah. You were honest with us. You said, hey, it's not my expertise, but I know Kumba, and Kumba's already been on the show. So people can go back and listen to Kumba talk about healthcare, because that's who you need. That is one of the best answers, bro. You don't have to be an expert. Listen, I know what I know, and I know what I'm good at. And everybody else, there's a lot of other people that are better at certain things than I am. I love that answer. All right, let's talk about public education.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we see where our state is working diligently to defund public education. And I also know, the ISTA and all the other teachers unions are struggling to fight back and push back on some of these policies. Talk about public education and how you would like to address those issues.
Yeah, 100%. We definitely need to try to, increase pay for our teachers. They definitely deserve more. They're some of the lowest paid in the country, and we need to change that. And 100%. I mean, I want to do that for basically every worker, across the state. But then, as far as like school vouchers go, that's the big thing. When I talk to the heads of the teachers unions, that they want their legislators to fight for downstate, or I'm sorry, fight against, I should say.
Right.
These school vouchers are hurting teachers. They're hurting classrooms. So essentially, when those vouchers go out, that the schools, the public schools aren't getting that money that they normally would get.
Yeah.
And I said it hurts the students' experience, hurts the school's experience, and then the school doesn't have the money to fund their own operations. It makes it to where when those teachers unions are bargaining, they have less leverage, because the school's not bringing in more money. But it is most certainly as a way to try to eliminate public schools altogether.
Absolutely.
And people really need to see that for what it is.
So listen, this is a question I have to ask, because you are closer to communities that are voting on the Republican side. Do they not, and I'm not trying to be rude or mean, have they not been able to connect the dots?
I would say that in Northwest Indiana, we have a lot of teachers unions, and people do know about them up here, but you get to further into like maybe like the Couts area, a little more south in my district. People they like that program, because typically it'll help them pay for their, private school. But the sad part is most of the time, those people that are getting that voucher, they do make a lot of money and they can afford to send their kid to that private school regardless. That's a check that should be going to the public schools. So we can better fund our public school programs.
Yeah, yeah. So, this is going to tie back into what you know best, the NIPSCO and the utilities. But our infrastructure in our state is sus. Our environment in our state is sus. When you think about Indiana's environment, because they always tell people, if you have asthma, you should leave Indiana. We're still waiting for rural parts of our state to get high-speed internet, reliable high-speed internet. When you think about infrastructure and you think about the environment, and you can separate them out, right? I just know I want to get these two topics from you because I have a feeling we're going to learn something. So you take them how you want to take them.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to get back into the data centers just a little bit, but so that's one of the environmental concerns, that I hear often is these data centers going in. Part of that bill that Ed wrote in 2019 for the tax breaks, he could have put some regulation in there and made it, to where there were environmental concerns addressed. There were concerns addressed about water usage, concerns, addressed about the infrastructure that's built for those data centers and how that's going to get paid for in a way that it doesn't hurt regular people, right? But you go even further than that. There should be some regulation in there that says it can't; those data centers shouldn't be able to go in next to a neighborhood or a school, and we can figure out like the distance, that would be something simple to figure out. But we do need infrastructure, like you were saying, though, with high-speed internet, and we do need a whole slew of different things with infrastructure across the state and across the district. But sadly, because of these laws, House Bill 1470, I believe that was in 2019, and there was a bunch of other laws that have to do with the storage, transmission, and distribution and new technology, where those utility companies can pass those costs off onto the consumers, and once again, it doesn't go through that regular rate hike process. Essentially, it just goes right over the IURC. It's a rubber stamp, and then our bills just continue to rise. And these laws, these pro corporation laws, they're hurting us. And in my opinion, Ed Soliday has legislated like a corporate executive. That was his position at United Airlines. He was the vice president of United Airlines. He always claims to be a union pilot, and he was, but he was the vice president of United Airlines before he retired, and then got into lawmaking. But in my opinion, he certainly legislates like one, and we need someone down there fighting for regular people. But as far as environmental stuff goes, it's once again not necessarily my strong suit. But anytime we're put in a big project, we need to consider the environment and go to those experts and say, okay, what are your concerns? What can we do to mitigate? Or maybe we can't put this in at all here. Right. Whatever it is, we need to make those decisions with the people we represent, in mind, and have their best interest.
Man, wow. I mean, listen, our time is almost already up. You have fed us with so much good stuff for us to understand what's really happening in the region. You're not really in the region. You're kind of like just east of the region, right?
No, we consider ourselves the region here. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, and see, I live in Indy, and my girlfriend lives in Bloomington, so I'm usually getting things, Indianapolis South, and I've been reading. One of the commissioners, he puts a video out every now and then. I can't think of his name right now, and so I've been kind of keeping up. But you gave us a really good understanding of what is happening in the northern part of our state. And I think It is critical and crucial that everyone across the state hears what's happening to a specific area, because that's another one of our big urban areas, right? People don't think about, the region being urban, but it really is. Like a lot of people call it even the suburbs of Chicago.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely. Yeah.
So tell the people where they can find you.
Yes. Can I get one more thing in about the data centers?
Absolutely.
All right. So someone like Ed Soliday would say that folks that speak like me are not pro-progress. And what I would say to that is, yeah, I'm sorry, they would also say you're always going to have a little pain in progress. But what we're seeing right now, it's not a little pain in progress.
Right.
We're seeing entire communities being devastated because of this progress. You know, so if we can change the laws to where they actually positively affect regular people, we certainly should consider all business that wants to come to this state. I certainly would be willing to work with business, but these laws needed to protect regular citizens and working class families. But the other thing I wanted to hit on was that, like I said, labor again. I really want to fight to repeal like a right to work, raising the minimum wage. We needed to reform workman's comp laws and unemployment compensation laws and all kinds of things like that. But where you can find me, though, is Ryan Kominikis. .com, and you can find me on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter at Ryan Kominikis for Indiana.
And do you have any volunteer events coming up? I know you don't have an opponent, but do you have any volunteer opportunities or fundraisers?
Yes. So on May 2nd, we actually have a Picture the Future event with Ryan Kominakis. That's the name of the event. So essentially, it's like a family photo shoot day and a barbecue day. So we'll have hot dogs and burgers. We're going to have some games for the kids, and we're going to have like a VW van that my campaign manager owns, and then a John Deere tractor to do like a quick photo at the one, quick photo at the other. But there are tickets you can buy online. You can buy tickets for the photo. You can buy tickets for the just for the food. But we would be happy to have you. That's May 2nd on a Saturday from 2 to 6 p.m. at Forest Park, but right by the golf course. We'd be happy to have all of you. You can find all that information on the Facebook page and the events.
You might mess around and see me up there. You might mess around. I tell you what, brother.
Absolutely. So I also wanted to let everybody know, you got a Marine in me that's fought for my country. You got a union representative in me that's fought for workers for over a decade. And I want to take that fight downstate and fight for you. I just want to make sure that the people in District 4 know that firmly.
I want you to fight too, because I feel like, I would win a battle with you. I feel like if I go in a room toe to toe, just standing beside you, we gonna win some things, because I don't think anybody's gonna be able to intimidate you or to get you to sell out for $1, right? I just feel like your integrity and your inner core and your inner strength will not allow you to be manipulated by trinkets to enrich the other people at the expense of your fellow citizens. And so, guys, I'm going to beg you again, please click his donate link. It's right there. You ain't got to look for it. Donate to him. Go ahead and become a recurring donor as much as you can, as little as you can. Every single dollar will help this man win this election. And he's already offered multiple solutions on how to make things better. Ryan, wait a minute. I'm trying to Kominikis. Did I say it right again? I think I said it right that time. I thank you so much.
Yeah, Ryan Kominikis.
Kominikis. I literally wrote it COMB Nikis. That was that. But I want to thank you. This was the first time we talked, and I promise I had the time of my life learning about you, learning about what you're passionate about. And if anybody is listening to this show, they heard your passion, and I wish you the absolute best of luck.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for having me on, Dan. It means a lot getting my message out there, and I really hope folks will support me. And let's send Ed to overdue retirement in November. Get a leader downstate that's going to fight for regular people.
I love it. Thank you so much, brother.
Yep.
Hang on, don't hang up yet.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, y'all! Did y'all feel that? That man highlighted every issue in his district. He understands his district. He knows his district. He's offered solutions to his district. That candidate is prepared. That candidate is ready to run a successful campaign. And it looks like he's put enough people around him to do that, but he still needs your help. He still needs your help. Click the donate link. I imagine if you go to his website, he has a volunteer sign up form. Whatever it is that you can do, if it's only baking cookies on the days that they're out door knocking and the only thing you can do is hand out water, whatever it is, just please. This is the kind of man that we need down. This is the type of candidate that we need down in Indianapolis fighting for us. Because guess what? When unions win, the non-union people win too. Huh? What? What you say, Dana? What you say? You know, when the union wins, non-union people win. Because right now we're all being gouged. We are all being fleeced. And enough is enough. Ed Soliday got to go. Y'all, thank you for tuning in so much. I enjoyed this conversation. I got more candidates coming, and I will reschedule Will so that you guys can hear from him as well. Oh, this was a powerful show today, y'all. I will holler at y'all next time. Peace. Turn Left is the property of Black Pearl IT Solutions, executive producer, Indiana's own Dana Black. Music by Dorianin 22 from Pixabay.